Go.
Welcome everybody to Harmony Remote Repairs instructional videos. Today we're going to show you how to open a Harmony One and prepare it for installation of the new Harmony One replacement LCD. And we'll take you through those steps, starting with just how to open the Harmony One without marring it or damaging it. So here we have a customer's Harmony One with a very nasty cracked LCD module. And so the first thing we need to do is open the remote so that we can get to that module and take it out. So we'll start with just opening the battery cover and removing the battery if it's still in the remote. And then we'll need to remove all of the screws that are holding the clamshell casing together. So there are two screws underneath the Logitech label. And we'll just peel that up. And we'll remove those. There are two more screws in the same area that are visible right here in the corners, and we'll take them out as well. Now, Logitech is not done with us yet because they like to hide screws all over the place, and there's three more underneath the soft touch rubberized back cover. Now, the easiest way to get this off, I find, is to use my thumbnail, and I grab the top here at the seam and pull it up right there. The piece starts to come free, and you can just sort of work your way down and roll the piece off. You'll get some resistance at the bottom because there's double stick tape, and that's all you need to do. You can also use a pry tool if you don't have a thumbnail. This exposes three more screws, one at the top, and two at the bottom. Now the next step, you really need a pry tool for, because you don't want to use a screwdriver or a knife or anything like that that's going to mar the clamshell seam. So if you got an installation kit, you would have a triangle pry tool that looks very much like this. And to start, I like to do this in my lap because it gives me a little bit more leverage. I insert the pry tool at the top and just slide right down the seam. And then I flip the remote around and do the same thing on this side. Okay, now those seams are separated, but I don't want to lift the front from the back because of the touchscreen ribbon cable. So I'm going to flip the remote upside down, and I'm just going to lift the back from the top. And that exposes the PCB. The next step is to peel back this tape. You may or may not have tape on yours, and that will expose the tiny little ZIF connector that holds the touchscreen ribbon cable. Again, I'm going to use my nail and just flip it back and up very gently, and then pull the ribbon cable straight out. There are two more screws that have to be removed. Now these screws are shorter than the ones that you took out previously, so do not mix them up. This is a good time also to verify that you have the correct logic board that supports the second generation LCD, PA 7.4. If you do not see PA 7.4, put the remote back together again and send the LCD back because it's not going to work on your Harmony One. 7.4 only. Okay, so now we're ready to actually pull the PCB away from the front cover. There's a soft connection here, up by the charging terminals. There's a screw post, and you just, again, get your nail under there and pull up and just fold back. Being very careful not to pull on this ribbon cable. And that separates the board from the front cover. If you like, it's a good time. You can take off the button guide, and you can pop the button pads off, and you can clean. You can clean the inside of the front cover, you can clean the button caps, of any contamination. Don't wet the surface, the inside surface of the digitizer. You could damage the leads. A damp cloth is fine. And check to make sure that nothing is pulled away here. Very often, if somebody opens the remote incorrectly, these leads get pulled away from the surface of the front cover, and then the touchscreen will no longer work. This is your off button. Make sure it doesn't get lost. Sometimes it falls out during these procedures, and you can just keep it right in there. All right, our next step is to remove the arrow keys, the light tunnels, that there are LEDs under here, and keep these so that you know which one came from which side, because believe it or not, they're not interchangeable, and the arrows themselves will look wrong once you reassemble. So this one came from the right side. You wiggle and you pull up. And this one came from the left side. You wiggle, you pull up. And the same thing here, a little bit of wiggle. Just loosen it. This one has tape on the bottom, so you loosen it, and then you peel it back, and then just peel away. You will use these pieces again, so keep them handy. We're almost ready to remove the module. We have to unclip it from the back. And fold it backwards, and that will expose the solder connections, which we will unsolder in the next video.